Alright guys, what up? Mammoth Foreigner here, and I am here with the 4th gen Tacoma build, and we're finally getting into the lights, the nitty gritty, the fun stuff, the wiring. Oh god, who doesn't love good old fashioned wiring? So I want to do this right the first time because I don't ever want to do it again. I want to do this one time. Me and wiring just don't really have a good history. It's either it goes super easy or it just takes days. So I'm by no means a professional at this. This is all like DIY out of my garage, as all of you know who's following me. But I'm super stoked on this. This is from Auxbeam. They have a very unique switch panel. It is this long tubular switch panel that I really like. That's what attracted me to it. So the idea is to have this up in the A-pillar, kind of in a different location, kind of out of the way, and I don't have to take my dash or anything apart to cut out a square and put it in. That is what I had to do to the 5th gen. I don't want to cut anything in the cab of the Tacoma, so the plan is to just kind of put this in a nice, easy location. Basically, this video is going to be going over my process and what I'm going to be doing as far as what lights I'm going to be running, what else is going to be connected to it, and probably the easiest way to go about it. So I hope you guys like it. Auxbeam is a great company. I'm super excited to test this out and see how it does on the build. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to comment, make sure to like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And let's get into it. All right, so we got the circuit control box, the lid. This is the actual circuit control box. Circuit breaker. All of our wires are mounts for the actual panel, for the switch panel. More wires and more wires. Check it out. We have this is gonna go right into here. Already this looks so much easier than the Switch Pro. I'm not gonna lie, I was never really really good at doing the Switch Pro. I had another shop do it originally, and then I kind of just like piggybacked off of their original installation. So this is refreshing because this looks familiar. This looks like something I can handle a lot more than the Switch Pro. Switch Pro is just super confusing. So look, this is what we're gonna run this, and then we'll put them in when I have the location ready and set to go. But for now, we'll just leave it like that. Let's see what's next. This one will have a add a fuse connected to it. But for now, I'll go ahead and just get that in there too. Maximum effort, guys. Maximum effort. You don't want to do this twice. You don't want to take it all apart and fucking have to do it all over again. Alright, this is going to go to this is going to go. Okay. I think we're pretty much ready to bring this under the hood and see where we're going to mount it at. All right, so now we have it over here. It looks like we're gonna be able to tap into through the firewall right here through that rubber seal. Very similar to how my 5th gen was. Everything's on the right side instead of the left side though. We got 2 fuse boxes in these Tacomas. Lots of wiring everywhere. So the idea here is I'm going to find out what fuse I can use in here to put the fuse from the Auxbeam into here. And then I'm thinking until I get a mount, I'm just going to 3M tape the actual block here on top fuse. And that's how it's going to be. So for right now, I'm just going to run the wire through to the cab and see how the process is to break through there, and then run it to where I'm going to be putting the actual switch panel. All right, so here's my wire. Pretty easy. Went through that rubber piece under the hood, and it came right through. Honestly, a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Usually, like trying to get into the cab is a pain, but it went pretty well. Alright, so this is the part that probably took me the longest, but I think I finally figured it out. I went ahead and put the fuse into this position, the engine ignition number 1. So it's a 5 amp fuse, and I just put a 30 amp in it. You know, I wanted to avoid anything that had engine on it, but I can't find anything else. So if you guys do have a better location, feel free to comment and let me know. But this works. So as soon as I turn on the tap, it all comes on. So we are ready to put in some lights. Alright, so what I just did is I grabbed that wire that I ran through the engine bay, and I just literally just pushed it all the way through as much as I could to hopefully be able to feel it on the other side, which I did and pulled it through. So again, a lot easier than I was expecting. And now I'm gonna just tidy this up, run it up, and get it connected back to the switch panel. Alright, so I went ahead and just put their tape on the back to make it easy with the wire so it doesn't show. I ran this wire, just kind of pushed everything in. I didn't have to take any of the plastic pieces off. I did snap this part back a little bit, and I literally just followed the floor all the way so you can't see any wire. It's all tucked up underneath everything. That's as much as you can see right there. There we go. Kind of push it back a little bit. It's just running the wire. So however clean you really want it is what you're really going to get. So you can just really take your time with it. I do have a little bit of excess wire here. I'm going to push down because I do have this wire too. Just make it look like it's all part of it. All right, and there we have it. It came out pretty good, I would say. Turn this up a little for you guys. All right, so that's as much wire as being shown. I didn't see any other options to move it over a little bit more. I gotta play with that a bit. But, I mean, it's a pretty cool location. It's different. You know, I'll just come up here and pop, pop, pop. Alright, so now that I got the actual Auxbeam set up, I'm going to go ahead and try to test them out and see if I can get my 2-banger Morimoto ditch lights on. So now with this, these lights come with the Deutsch connectors, and usually you just plug it into their wiring harness that I have. But since we have the Auxbeam, we can just cut this and put them together and put them directly into the Auxbeam. Alright, so that is a wrap. Auxbeam official. Push the button. And we got ditch nuts. Super easy. Probably my favorite wiring job I've ever done where nothing actually went wrong. And we got the Morimoto 2 bangers. Now the only thing left is to clean up the wiring underneath the hood and zip tie some of the wires together, just make it look clean. But it came out so good. Alright guys, so you saw it, got the ditch lights on. Now I just gotta go through and add the light bar, the roof rack lights, eventually hook up the rock lights, and that will be, I mean, pretty much, this is just going to be for lights. It keeps it nice and organized. I'm going to get the mount for it, so it'll make it even nicer down here. Okay, so side note before we end this, you have to run all the wires through this hole here. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that before, but I went to go put the box on it and it obviously would not close because of all the wires in the way. So make sure you just run everything through here and then start to organize, which you can still get to all your stuff and have it come down this way. So just a little note, save yourself the time. All right, and that is with the box on. It makes everything so clean. You can't really see very many wires, nothing, no trees coming to your battery here. It's just in this one box. So it looks super clean. I could drill the top of this plastic, but I think I'm just gonna hold off and get a mount and you know, make it nice and clean. I don't have to I don't have to drill through my OEM plastic fuse box or anything like that in case I ever do decide to you know, use something else. I'm not stuck with a permanent mistake. So all right, so it is a new day and I'm back out on the Tacoma. I did choose to switch the location of the switch panel thing that it's making it kind of come up a little bit, but you cannot tell from a normal view. You'd have to come over here and like go down. But before it was coming up here, making this all pop out. It was a little too noticeable for me. So that is going to be the new look. It hides the wire pretty much completely. All right, so we got the light bar hooked up. Now, how it works, I got on this specific Cali raised light bar, I have the regular light bar and then we have the amber. So you can have both of them on or you can have just one on. So this would be like marker lights for like when you're driving, like a DRL, amber DRL basically on your light bar. And the only bad thing I would say about it is it does take up 2 switches. So I'm gonna run more DRLs when I do have them to this, and I'll show you how I did that in a second. But this button controls the white. This is the DRL, the amber DRL. And let me show you how I wired that up. So I have the light bar right here. So I have the power for the light bar and then the negative. And then this light bar has that DRL feature, so it has another power wire. So you just put the power wire into the next power slot on the Auxbeam here, which is a 20 amp fuse. And I just have that power going. So that's its negative, that's its other power. So light bar, amber, DRL, and then the negative here. So I'd say that's the only downside is it takes up this switch. Now if I want to add in, say, these have a DRL or my front fogs that I'll eventually have, I can just put the power into here and I'll be able to turn all the DRLs on one switch. So kind of that's the silver lining, I guess. So all of them won't be individual, but I can basically turn them all on one. So I'll just put all of the DRLs into this one power slot. If I do need a negative, I have an extra one here. And there you go. So make sure you get like a 8-gang switch. I think it's just better safe than sorry. You can always just put stickers on you're not going to use. But eventually, you know, you find lights. You find lights. And more switches, the better, because there's so many just multiple lights now. You got just 2 light modes or whatever it is. So looking clean. Now time to move on to the
roof rack.
Alright guys, all done here. There is Auxbeam with the 6-panel. Let's start with this lights. Light bar. DOL light bar. Ah, so bright. And all thanks to Auxbeam, this is possible. I mean, it's just so much easier than running a million different switches. You know, you plug in the Auxbeam, plug in all the lights to it, and go. So I hope you all liked it. Up next, rock lights from Auxbeam. I'll be doing a full breakdown of how I choose to mount the rock lights, some tips and tricks that I found for those, and that deserves a whole second video. So up next will be rock lights. Till then, see you guys on the next one.